Good day and welcome to another edition of Lit, Crit and Pop. The last edition, we studied and considered parenting lessons from Funke Akindele's movie titled She Must Be Obeyed. It's a fantastic movie that we were able to glean one or two lessons from. And one thing I want us to know is that literature performs a didactic function. And by didactic, I mean that, of course, in literature is very entertaining, whether it's a book you're reading or you are watching a film. However, beyond the entertainment that we get, literature teaches lessons. Literature teaches life lessons that we can learn one or two things from that will be very handy in our day-to-day activity. From that last edition, we saw that Shinobola suffers from the psychological problem she had when she was young. Her mom, because she suffers from apollesia, a disease that makes a person's hair on the head very scanty. And imagine a lady having such a disease. So this affects Shinyoboyala a great deal. Her mother did not help matters at all. Her mother was always criticizing and castigating her, making her feel more and more inferior to other children. And as Shinobola grows up with this damaged self-esteem, damaged psychological condition, such that though what she suffered from was a physical problem, apollesia, but because of the way her mother did not manage her well, in combination with that physical problem of apollesia, she also becomes a psychological patient. Of course, nobody knows she's a psychological patient because she was a popular music star, well known, but nobody knows that. But when we psychoanalyze her, study her using Sigmund Freud's psychoanalysis, we can see that Shinyobrola grows up to become a very wicked, ambitious, and insecure woman. Why? Because of the experience she had in her childhood. She grew up wanting to prove a point because all her life her mother has relegated her to the background and made her feel less than others because of what she suffered. Because of the apollesia she suffers. So she grew up wanting to prove a point that I am better than others. So she will fight tooth and nail and do whatsoever it will take just to be better than others. And sometimes when she is confronted with people she perceives are better than her, she resorts to violence. She resorts to all sorts of things just to pull them down and discredit them. In fact, when you listen to our last edition, you will get more details. Our manager, the young man, she emasculates him. That is called our manager, but is nothing less than a houseboy. He begins to dress like a woman. He has no authority, he has no power, he has nothing. She strips him of everything, even his salary, and makes him nothing less than houseboy. So she tries to bring down everybody around her such that she will be superior. So she'll have that sense of superiority, that's where she gets her confidence. Her confidence is only gotten when she brings down others around her. So today we'll proceed on that same part of psychoanalysis, but today we are going into what Sigmund Freud calls the id, the ego, and the superego. The id, the ego, and the superego. The id is the primitive, the id's ego and superego are the components of the psyche according to Sigmund Freud. They are the three components of the human psychology. The id is the primitive part of the human psyche that is driven by pleasure and anger, obsession, all those primitive attitudes that are not accepted in the society. That is what is called the id. The ego is the rational part of the human psychology. It tries to mediate between the superego and the id. Then what is the superego? The superego is the moralistic part of the human psyche that internalizes the values and what the society perceive as right. So we said the id is the primitive human instinct. The primitive human instinct that wants to kill immediately somebody offends him or her. The primitive human instinct that is not rational. It just wants to vet his anger, just wants to enjoy. That is the id. The superego is the laws of the land that has been internalized into us. Then this ego is the one trying to balance between the desires of the id, the primitive one, and the societal demand. So a character is caught when every one of us will find ourselves in the ego position, where probably a student who normally, when somebody offends him, his next line of action is to slap the person or do something. But there is the superego, the law of the society, that says, okay, if you beat or you kill somebody, you are going to be sent to jail. So the ego is now trying to balance between, oh, I want to kill him, and the society say if you kill him, you will be in trouble. So the ego is the mediator between the id and the super ego. We want to see how this comes to play in Funke Akindele's She Must Be Obeyed. We'll see from the character of Shinyobola that her id is very prominent. Of course, like we said in the last edition, her id is as a result of her childhood experience. So Shinyobola's id is that she wants to dominate. And id is primitive. It is not refined. It just wants to get its will done by force. And that's why we'll see that Shinyobola does everything possible to bring down our two other contemporaries who were in the music industry. You know, there were three female reigning music stars at that time. Shinyobola is one of them. And she does everything to pull down these other two musicians. There was a time she orchestrated a scene where she intentionally steps on one of the female music artists, just wanting to get a reaction, and she has placed a cameraman on one side so that immediately that one reacts violently. After she steps the camera will snap the shot and then put it on social media. In fact, she has a lot of social media lines in her room, such that she blackmails and writes so many evil things about the other two female music stars. In fact, there was one of the music stars who won the Music Star of the Year. She orchestrates how that music star would be deceived by a man and then lured to bed, and then because it was stage managed, cameras was put everywhere in the room such that the lady would nude pictures and videos will be pasted on social media. She does everything to pull down these other three music stars. In fact, for those who have watched the movie, you will see that she also, how does she become a music star? She is not talented in singing. She takes advantage of the young girl Adaeze, and then it's Adaeze who sings in the studio, and she takes all the glory. So that's her hit. Her hit is the desperate part. Her hit is the wicked part. For months, she refused to pay people who were working for her. She refused to pay them, and she had money. In fact, during that time, she bought a car. So this is her hit, the primitive part. Then let's look at the superego. The superego is that the society does not expect a star to be that desperate. The society does not expect somebody that is an influencer, somebody who is a role model. The society doesn't expect them to act that way. So, in trying to manage these two situations, our desperate desire for success, that she will even blackmail her colleagues, and the societal expectation, which is the superego, you will see a conflict in her in trying to manage her id and the superego in the actions she takes. One of the actions she takes, which is the ego, trying to mediate between our primitive hunger for wickedness and the societal expectation of good from somebody who is a superstar. She goes to buy a jeep for her driver, who is also her cousin, and then puts it on social media and says, "Oh, I just bought my loyal driver, a car." And then she puts it on social media, and then she's getting comment, because this is the super ego. This is what the society wants from somebody who they call their celebrity. So she tries to please the super ego, but she's also wicked. After putting all those pictures on the social media that she just bought him a car, after a week, because the boy has been asking her and persuading her that he wants to travel abroad, she convinces him that when she sells the car, the money in which she used in selling the car, she will use it in sending him abroad. But unfortunately, she sold the car and never sent him abroad. So she only used that car as the ego, trying to please the superego, the societal expectation of their star, and ends up still performing the heat again by being wicked. You only used the guy to get the societal praise, to satisfy the superego, and end up still fulfilling your heat. She never gave the guy the car. She only used him to get more fame. We also saw there was a time she went to the motherless baby home and bought things for them and puts it on social media, invited the press, and then she was loud about it. While she was doing that, she was owing her employees working for her at home 3 months' salary. So we can see that Shinobola knows that her heat is very terrible. It is wicked, it is ambitious, it wants to bring down people by all means, because she feels energized by bringing down others. And she still wants to satisfy the societal and moralistic demands of the society, which is the superego. So she comes in between. She does the good and does the evil. So she goes to the motherless baby home, gives clothes for the motherless baby, and then come back home refuses to pay those who work for her. So it's like she's just trying to paint herself good in the public eye, but she's actually bad. So, but she's actually bad. So she's trying to fulfill the societal expectation, but she's evil. We can also see that play again when she goes to when she was the one who orchestrated quarrel between herself and the three other female music stars. So the other two music stars, but she will come on social media and she will say, "Oh, we are stars." She's the one who stepped on the other lady, and then that one reacted, and she got a cameraman to quickly snap that scene. She's the one who instigated the fight. But so that she will satisfy her superego, the psyche, the demand of the society for morality. She comes on social media and say, "Oh, there's no more quarrel between myself and my other colleague. We are friends. So our fans should not fight our colleague." It's all a lie. So she's trying to fulfill the id and the superego, and that is where the ego comes in. It's trying to mediate between our primitive desires for anger, for revenge, to bring down others, ambition, and then she's trying to meet up with societal expectation of good morality. That is where the ego comes in. So, but all this is as a result of our upbringing, of our childhood experience that has shaped her. So today we have angry people in the society. People who are angry, people who are desperate, people who are all sorts of things. To a great extent, many of these character traits and psyche have been formed from their childhood. So as parents, teachers, and children handlers, I want to admonish you. Take care of that child. Don't build low self-esteem into them. Build confidence, build hope, build a person who will be emotionally strong in the future, who will not live a life of trying to pull others down in order to feel strengthened. Thank you for listening to this edition of Lit, Crit, and Pop. I'll be with you next time with a very, very interesting topic. God bless you.